Is holding a meeting at City Hall with the police and politicians to discuss knife crime. He said, "I'm angered and heartbroken by the number of violent deaths on our streets," and he says he's determined to end it. But what's the reality on the streets behind the political debate? IPM presenter Luke Jones has been to a youth centre in North London.
Where I held a meeting, not with police or politicians, but I spoke to 3 young men, 16, 24 and 26, at the St Mary's Community Centre Trust in Camden, North London. All have been affected by knife crime and all have been helped by this youth group, some of them now working with it.
You can see knives everywhere you go.
Literally from as young as, you can go as young as 12, you'll see people carrying knives from 12 all the way up to big 30s and stuff. I think it's just normality for...
Even for 12-year-olds?
Literally, yeah. It goes very young. You'd be very surprised. It's crazy.
Why do 12-year-olds, why does anyone carry a knife?
So most people carrying knives are scared, innit? Because it's like, you may have seen someone carrying a knife and then that will make you feel like, oh, everyone's got a knife, so I need a knife. Or there's a certain group of people that might be troubling you. You're afraid of getting hurt, and you're afraid of getting hurt in the worst way. So imagine me seeing knives and all of this since I'm 12. And it's like, if that's where my mind is, or if that's all I can think about, then that's what you're gonna do, innit?
I think now it's gotten to the stage that even if, say you're not a part of that culture at all, but you just being a friend of a friend, or even being seen talking to somebody that once, that automatically kind of makes you part of it. So it's like, you might even get advice like, oh yeah, you might have to carry this, and like 90% is out of fear.
It's one thing to carry a knife, it's another thing to actually use it and harm someone. How easy does it go from one to the other?
There's triggers, that there's certain things you can say to someone that will trigger them to go like absolutely nuts, but it's just words, innit? Like, what are you looking at? That's the oldest one in the book, innit? What are you looking at? Literally. All you're thinking about is, if I'm gonna get through this day, like, type of thing, do you know what I'm saying? So imagine that, yeah, going through your head, yeah, and at the same time you're going to school, and at the same time you're trying to work, or at the same time you're trying to do something positive, but all of these people in these positions don't know nothing what's going on in your head, so they don't understand your behavioural issues, they don't understand all of these little things, so these little things turn into like segregation. You get boxed off, you get detentioned off, all of these things become normal, then you're getting arrested, you start getting arrested, you start getting pulled over by the police for no reason. All of these things become normal, then you go jail, and then you know all of these people that have been jail, and so it's like, oh, this is how it's supposed to be, basically. That's a lot of people's minds, consciously or subconsciously, innit? But it's like, you can see where the problem stems from, innit? It's not like a quick fix to it.
Also there was Jason, who runs the youth service, and he says people like him and those who work with him, many of whom grew up and live in this kind of environment, are the ones best placed to help.
We started this youth service about 12 years ago. We work with young people from 6 years old up to 25 years old, supporting young people to get through violent situations. When it gets to the older age groups, we do a lot of interventions, even down to supporting them in getting a college placement that's completely out of borough so that they don't get into these violent altercations, and showing them that there is another way of life. Because, as I said, a lot of the problem is many of these young people don't see another way of life.
It's like these environments breed this type of thing. These things don't happen in rich areas, innit? It's like the first time I went to like a Fort Park was through this. Like, otherwise I wouldn't have ever went. Or like even Nando's. They used to take us Nando's. It opens your eyes to the possibilities, innit? And then all of these other things just become more important.
But what about outside of youth groups and schools? Parents, they all agree, from upstanding disciplinarians all the way to drug addicts, don't have a clue what their children are up to. And the police?
Police, I don't know. Police, you're seen from these types of environments as the enemy, innit? Regardless of if you are bad or not, like, nobody else gets treated like that, do you know what I'm saying? There's so much mad things that the police do, they ain't got our best interests at heart, innit? Like, even this whole stop and search thing, when I was a bit younger, the stop and search thing was like more, that used to happen a lot more, innit? And it was like, it's like child abuse, well, I swear down, because it's like you're getting pulled over by big men that are roughing you up, like beating you up, do you know what I'm saying? Just because you look a certain way or No one ever pulls you over like, oh, you were doing this for your safety.
The relationship between communities and police is just so broken that I don't really think that police, even if they start acting, I can kind of make a change. I think it's more of a community-based thing where all the communities kind of got to come together now and try and make a change.
That's what I'm saying. The people that are supposed to be helping us are putting us through traumatic experiences.
Do you worry that it's not going to get better anytime soon?
Like, I'm 16, like, I'm in that age where, like, it's happening to most people my age, so, yeah, it can be worrying, but it's normal. Like, someone got stabbed, I'll be like, rah, like, yeah, you just have to move on.
Do you reckon it's going to get worse or not?
Well, if no changes occur, then yeah, definitely. That's how it is sometimes.
Afterwards, one of them said that they were worried about talking openly about this. For many of the people listening to this programme, to people in government, this is so far away from their own lives. The gulf between them, he said, was the same between our government and those people living in places like Eastern Ghouta in Syria. They don't understand it, he said, so they don't know how to help.
Thanks, Luke.